Hello everyone, this is your boy Good Investor. I hope you are having an amazing day because today has been great for cryptocurrencies, and I'm coming to you with a new video about SOS as I do on a daily basis, and along with all the other videos of course. But today in this video I wanted to talk not only about SOS but also wanted to feature another crypto mining company called EBON, which is also a Chinese company. And the reason I included both of them in the same video is because EBON came up with a big news from their chairman coming with a letter to the shareholders, and I think that would be very relevant to SOS. So if you are interested on SOS, if you're interested on cryptocurrencies, make sure you watch the video till the end because there's a couple of really big points mentioned throughout the video and you definitely do not want to miss that. So before I go into the video, I wanted to take a moment and ask you guys if you could consider subscribing to the channel or dropping a like to this video because it would absolutely help the video outreach to the people in need, because as we know, there's a lot of people interested on knowing more about SOS, a lot of people willing to know about investing, about Robinhood. So we want to make sure that these videos are outreaching the right people. So without further ado, I wanted to deep dive into the video right away, and I would like to begin with Bitcoin's price. As we can see, Bitcoin topped 63,000 point mark, and it's been amazing. And for the past couple of days, actually, Bitcoin have been doing great. And it could be two things. One of them, I think, is of course market optimism that things are coming back. And second one is because, as we all know, in case you forgot, tomorrow, April 14th, is Coinbase's IPO, and I think that is also reflected on the price of Bitcoin as well as other cryptocurrencies. So, so that is about Bitcoin. So before I move on into SOS, I wanted to actually begin it with EBON because that is, I think, something important to talk about before I go to SOS. So what happened on EBON side today is that EBON International issues open letter to shareholders, and this is coming from an article. And I can leave the link or just paste the letter right on the description below to make sure you guys are not missing it. But overall, what it is talking about is that this is a letter from the chairman of EBON to the shareholders, and they are usually on these letters, what they talk about is some of the things top of mind of the company, some of the issues that they want to address, and some of the topics that they want to talk about. And in this specific letter, they are actually talking about the some of the accusations that were made towards them by a company called by a company called Hindenburg Research. And Hindenburg Research is one of the companies that is giving a lot of skepticism not only on EBON but also in SOS. They did on a lot of other companies as well, and in some of the cases they were wrong. And some of the accusations they made to EBON, of course, was not just left there, and the company's chairman is actually addressing on this letter. And I don't want to go throughout the letter because this is going to be irrelevant to what we're going to talk about. But the main point here is that they are talking about some of the milestones on the EBON. And some of the disclosures that I want to make, guys, before I move on is also because I also have some of the positions on EBON. We're going to look at that as well. So I just want to make sure that I am transparent enough that I do own EBON as well. And here they are talking about some of the milestones on this letter, some of the chips that they are producing, as well as in April 2021, which is this month, they launched their cryptocurrency exchange platform, EBON, which is big. And cryptocurrency exchange is the same as Coinbase. So it might not be as big as that, but hey, this is something that the company has been working on for a while and it is out there. So with this letter, what they're honestly saying about is that they are trying to be transparent about what they are doing, and they're actually highlighting the fact that they are not the fraudulent company as it was highlighted by I always forget their name, Hindenburg Research. So that means that actually could mean a big thing. That actually mean that if Hindenburg is wrong about EBON, they are definitely wrong about SOS as well. So that actually builds another case on bullishness on SOS stock as well. So as soon as this letter was issued, let's look at EBON's stock price, and we can see that, well, of course, they were IPO'd on June of 2020, which is last year, and there have been some up and downs, but essentially today they were actually up by 6%, 6.3, and after hours they were up by 4.5%, which is in total about 11%. 11. I like that. So that being said, that means that the market actually reflected very positively on that news. That could be also reflected later on SOS as well. So why am I bringing this up? I am bringing this up because I want to make sure you guys are not fooled by the fact that these research companies like Hindenburg are coming up to the market. They are the ones who are shorting, and they have all the interest for the company to go down. I just want to make sure that you are not fooled by that, and that you're actually doing your own due diligence as well. And I'm hoping that this video will help you to do that. So now let's talk about SOS and what this Hindenburg is. Hindenburg is essentially a research company, and they are one of those biggest institutions that they are shorting SOS stock as well. So a lot of things happen, a lot of accusations, a lot of very bad things talked towards these two companies, which is very sad, of course. But it's Wall Street. It's all about money. So make sure that you are also considering that, and everyone is talking for their own benefit. So of course, but a lot of bad things have been talked about SOS from their side. So what exactly happened today on on SOS price later on is it did not get reflected on their price yet, of course, and they did go down, and it was part of the I think it was part of the fact that some people are not holding it enough, or they're just being paper hands, or as you call it that way, or they're just not believing in the company enough. So and they are convinced by those short positions. So I think that is something that is coming up. But as we can see that in after hours, they're actually up by about 2%. And I think that is also highlighted by the fact that Coinbase is IPOing tomorrow, and that is big to the cryptocurrencies and to SOS as well. So let's look at what happened on the short positions on some of these short interests. Actually, short volume did drop today. So April 13th, and as we can see here there we go. So there we go. April 13th. Yesterday they were about 22%, and on as we can see on April 13th, they're actually down to 17%. And let's compare it to EBAN as well as GameStop, as I usually try to do. So for GameStop right now, it's 19%, and SOS is actually 18%. So they're kind of somewhere there. So which is kind of telling you that there's a lot of people shorting them. However, the big difference between SOS and GameStop is this number, the borrow fee rate. So borrow fee rate is the higher it is, that means that it is there are less shares left for being shorted, which means that which is actually building a case for a short squeeze as well. So I just want to drop that out. I don't want you to solely believe on my words. I want you to also make your due diligence. But as we can see, the short fee borrow rate actually went very high. I've never seen it this high before. So definitely this is a good sign if you're waiting for the short squeeze, the same as I am doing. So that being said, let's compare this with EBAN. EBAN's short position is also pretty big, 16%, but of course they're not as big as SOS and GameStop in terms of being shorted. So, and as we can see, the borrow rate is 2%, and for GameStop it's actually 0.99, so about 1%. So as we can see, I mean, look at the difference. The difference is too big. The difference is a lot, 13% versus 1% for GameStop. So there is a chance of short squeeze. So this is still not going away, but I think tomorrow would be a decisive day for a lot of people who are investing on SOS, and make sure that you're being cautious. It could be good and bad, right? If nothing happens, I think some people would be liquidating their positions on SOS. There is an alarming thing going on, but it could be both good and bad. So I want to make sure that I am transparent enough, and you know, and you're aware of it. So that being said, I think I covered things that I wanted to talk about on SOS specifically. I'll make another video on blockchain and some of the good things that happen in the market, but I want to keep it separate from SOS to make sure it's not getting too long. That being said, thank you very much guys for joining me. I'll talk to you in the next video.